We are the creators of the finest high school football showcase in America. And let me tell you, it is an honor to have Granite Hills football in this event. We have been following you for years. You know us, you heard about us. We've been in San Diego for quite some time. And we have been wanting your school in our event for years. Thank you, Coach. Thank you so much for accepting our invitation. The one thing that I want you to hear before we start today's game, I want you to hear the heart and the story of the Honorable. I also want you to meet a 3-5 Marine that was in battle that's going to break down a little bit about what he experienced while he was in Camp Pendleton. As I told you, I was a football coach, just like all these other coaches. In 2010, I had a Marine son that left for Afghanistan. And what we would do is we would go to Camp Pendleton, we would buy them beer, and we'd all gather around and we'd have a party. And we'd all be like, get some, go get some. You guys are ready to go fight. Let's go get some. This one was different. This deployment was different. My son never told me where they were going until that day. And at the party, he said, Dad, let's go take a walk. Took me by the shoulder and we went for a walk. And he said, son, you leaving the party? He goes, Dad, I got something to tell you. He goes, Dad, I'm going to this place called Sang in Afghanistan. It's in the Helmand province. Do yourself a favor, don't Google it. What do you think I did, Coach? I immediately Googled it. Wait, son, is this the place where 200 Royal Marines have been killed? Is this the place where over 2,000 British Royal Marines lost their legs? Is this the place you're going, Dad? Or son? And he goes, yes, Dad. I couldn't believe it. A few days later, they landed in Sang in Afghanistan. He said when they were landing, they could hear pinging coming off the helicopter. While they were landing, they were getting shot at. They looked out the window and they were surrounded by white flags. When we hear of white flags, what do we think of? Surrender? No. What the Taliban would do is they'd put a white flag on the ground and with spray paint, they would spray paint, death to the Americans, death to the infidels. That's you and I, folks. My son was your age. That's what they were landing in. So they get acclimated to their base, and it wasn't the first patrol that goes out that base, leaves. And within 10 minutes, they hear a boom. Oh my God, the boom was so big that it shook their fog. They called to the patrol that just left. Guys, you okay? Guys, radio back. Radio silence. They mount up in their Humvees. They get armed up. They go, something happened to our patrol. They rush out there. And when they arrive under enemy sniper fire, they found that the patrol that just left, a bomb was activated underneath it. It was so big, it blew the Humvee up into the air, twisted it like a corkscrew, and when it hit the ground, 4 Marines instantly lost their lives. This is where it gets freaky, guys. I'm a football coach at Granite Bay, California. I get a call from a friend of mine up the street. He goes, Coach, your son's a Marine, right? I go, yeah. He goes, something happened to the neighbor next door. Their son's a Marine. Something happened. I go, what? He goes, here's the number. Call them. I called them, and when I finally talked to the family, I realized it was Patty and Tom Schumacher. Their son, Victor Dew, was killed in action. I coached him in football. Changed my life. The body comes home. I get to talk to the family, and as I'm talking to them, they asked me to eulogize him. They said, Coach, would you have the honor of eulogizing our son? I'd be honored. So I did. I watched the flag drink coffin. I watched the hole. I saw him lowered into the ground. I heard the playing of taps. A week later, I get a call from my son. He's on the satellite phone. It was very rare to get a call from him. And they were scratching. Dad, did you eulogize Victor Dew? I said, yes, I did, son. My colonel said a coach eulogized him. Was that you? I said, yes, that was me. That was me, son. He goes, Dad, I was there. I was the first vehicle to reach him. I cut him out of his purpose. Changed my life, guys. Changed it instantly. And it was at that time that I said, I'm going to get this coach. I'm going to get that coach. I'm going to get that coach. I'm going to get that coach. And we're going to play a game to raise money for military veterans. Guys, that is the birthing of the Honorable. That's how this whole thing came to be. And I want you guys to know something. It's the spirit of your athleticism. It's the fans that attend this. It's the coaches that work so hard to get you ready for games like this and the whole season. This is your way of giving back to the men and women that fought, bled, and died for our freedom. This is your way of doing it. So when you're out there today and you're playing, remember this. How many of you have friends or family that are loved ones that are veterans? How many? Raise your hands. We all do. You're playing for them. That's the heart of the Honorable. I love you guys. God bless you. I want to introduce you to a 3-5 Marine. Let's give it up for First Sergeant Freddie Torres.
Thank you for being here. It's a tremendous honor and privilege to stand up here and kind of share, back up what Coach said and share a little bit of a story from that deployment. My name is First Sergeant Freddie Torres. I joined the Marine Corps in 2006. I was an athlete just like you. I was born and raised in Tucson, Arizona. And again, when I was 18, I knew I wanted to join the Marine Corps, so I did. Joined in 2006. Coach talked about 2010. I was part of the 3rd Battalion, 5th Marines, the 3-5 Battalion that went over to Afghanistan in October of 2010. I'll share a quick story. In December of 2010, a couple months after that blast that killed 4 Marines, there was another patrol that went out, another group of Marines, 20 of them went out on a mission. They went out in a completely new area, so they went out there to talk to the local nationals, gain intelligence for about 4 or 5 hours. They made their way back to the patrol base, and on the way back, about 100 meters before making entry, the back of that patrol, one of the Marines stepped on an IED, a roadside bomb, improvised explosive device. There was a 25-pound IED, and that IED was meant to kill every single member of that patrol that day. Thankfully, only 4 or 5 pounds of that IED went off, and it shattered that Marine's foot that stepped on it. They got that Marine in the truck, they got him out of there, got him back to the United States, he's fine, he's safe. There was still 20 pounds of IED left out there, homemade explosives, that the Marines had to go blow in place so the Taliban wouldn't take it and use it against them again. So the squad leader, the sergeant, the one that was in charge of everyone, made the decision they're only going to push out a 4-man team to go put a stick of demolition down and blow it in place. So they did that. As the sergeant's getting ready to put the stick down, pull the string to blow it, the Taliban opens up from the east. About 100 meters down, there was a little valley. There was these murder holes, these holes the Taliban would put on the wall. They would put their barrels down and spray and pray, hoping that they would hit the Marines. That was their tactics. So as the sergeant's getting ready to pull the pin, the Taliban open up, and the sergeant gets shot twice in the legs. The 3 Marines run around the corner, take cover. The sergeant runs in the direction of fire. He runs in the direction of the Taliban, weapon up, engaging the Taliban. He runs for about 20, 30 meters, gets to a little divot, a waist-high wall. He falls back on that, he looks up, and his uniform, his camouflage uniform is covered in red. Realized he had been shot twice. From the north, here comes one of the Marines that took cover, sprinting under fire. The Taliban still engaging. He runs in, he cuts his pants off with his scissors to realize blood was gushing out. His femoral artery had been shot. He has less than 2 minutes. So he puts his fingers in, he puts his palm in, he puts gauze in, he applies the tourniquet, somewhat controls the bleeding, but he's not under control yet. So he calls the patrol base, I need a stretcher out here to pick up my sergeant, he's bleeding out, we gotta get him out of here. About 2 minutes later, that stretcher, the team, the quick reaction force gets out there. They put the sergeant on the stretcher, they're getting ready to get him out. On the count of 3, all guns blazing, every rocket and gun needs to engage the Taliban so we can get my sergeant out. They count to 3, they pick him up, they start making movement back to the patrol base behind him, about 100 meters. As he's getting carried, that sergeant on his back lifts up his hand, reaches out, and it's his best friend getting carried him out. He holds his hand and he says these last couple of words to him. Tell my mom I love her, and tell my boys I'm sorry. He squeezes one more time and he tells his best friend, make sure you tell my mom I love her. Tell my boys I'm sorry. His hand falls. They get him in the truck, they get him out of Afghanistan, get him to Germany, and they actually get him here to San Diego to Balboa Hospital where he did his recovery. That sergeant survived, he made it. But it wasn't easy. Let me tell you, January 2011, when he was at Balboa Hospital, the doctors came to him about a week or 2 later and they said, your leg's getting amputated. There's too much damage, too much nerve damage, too much damage with the arteries. That leg has to get amputated. We're doing it next week. That sergeant said, I'm not ready for that. The doctors also told him, you're getting medically retired. We understand what you've done 6 years, you've done a lot for the Marine Corps, but it's time to call it. You can't do this with a prosthetic leg. So that sergeant said, give me some time. I will work at this. So it went from 2 to 3 physical therapies a week to 2 to 3 physical therapies a day. 2 to 3 times a week to every single day grinding. In the gym, in physical therapy, in the pool, walking, slow running. I'll tell you, April 15th, when that battalion got back, the doctors told them, you're getting your leg chopped off. April 15th, when that plane landed at March Air Force Base and that staircase came down, I stood there at the bottom of that staircase ready to receive every single one of my squad members right after the doctors told me that I was no longer going to happen. The doctors told me that my leg was going to get amputated and that I would have no career left. That was in 2011. Fast forward now to 2024, I get to share this story. For a long time, I had shame, I had guilt. I didn't want to share the story. The Marines would ask me to share it. And I said, no, I don't want to. Because I felt guilt for leaving my squad behind for 3.5 months on their own because I got injured. There was shame that I might have not made the right decision and that I put myself in a position to get shot twice. I put myself in a position for my leg to get amputated, and there's shame that came with that. 2 years ago, God put it in my heart to start sharing this story, to let go of that shame, to let go of that guilt. Last year, when I shared this story at the Honor Bowl, I was in a different spot than I am now. I now get to minister to youth, to high schoolers. Every single week, I'm around high schoolers, helping them with the challenges that they're facing, the struggles. Because I face the challenge, you might face the challenge. I tell you, it's all right here, it's all mental. It's how you take on something, how you get through it mentally. Because you're gonna face things out on the football field, challenges, adversity, pain, injuries. You're gonna face it at home, you're gonna face it in a relationship, you're gonna face it in a job, you're gonna face it at family, you're gonna face it and fill in the blank. How do you come out of that? Physical, mental, and your character disciplines and how you hold yourself to it. Just like I did. I don't share that story to put myself up here. I share it because I wanted to give up. I didn't want to continue, but God put it in my heart that it was time to share it and put it out there. So thank you for what you do. Thank you for going out there and playing in honor of those that have gone before us, those that have gotten injured. Good luck on your game. Good luck on the rest of your season, and God bless every single one of you.
I want you to be there. I got some real quick hospitality stuff. I told you the story of Victor Dill. This is his mother, Gold Star mom Patty Schumacher. She's the co-founder of the Honor Bowl. Let's give it up for Patty. the young man that's going to have the honor to carry the flag and lead their team onto the Honor Bowl football field.
Good luck, Polly.
Ready for your team to be announced through the banners, all right? I'm going to give you the flag. Your team's going to be behind you. Whoop it up. Have some fun, okay? We'll have some music playing. We'll make it a lot of fun for you, okay? Guys, these are helmet decals, all right, Coach? There's one for every one of your kids' helmets, all right? Please have them put it on their helmets. This is an honor to have you guys be in this event. Please wear that throughout the year. There's a secret to those. The ones that wear those decals go far into the playoffs, and many have won a state championship. So, Coach, please do that. At the end of the game, your coach will choose who is the character winner. All right? That's the athlete that exhibited the best sportsmanship, the best brotherhood, the best character on the field. Coach, you will do that. The Max Preps media in attendance and the newspaper staff that's upstairs will select who will be the MVP of your game. And at the end of that game, we will hand this coach the championship trophy, right? It's an honor, guys. Let's get it up. Bring it up high. Bring it up high. Fist up. Fist up. Fist up. Okay, the 3-5 Marines have a saying before they went to battle. It's get some. It's get some. When I say 3-5, I want you to say get some. 3-5.
Get some.
3-5.
Get some.
3-5.
Get some.
Get some, guys.